Good evening. This is Dr. Kimberly Burgess, and I serve as the Executive Director for Student Success here at Albany State University. Welcome to Voices of the Extraordinary. Today, I am with an extraordinary student, Trinity Baggs. She is a freshman here at Albany State University, a member of the Student Government Association, currently freshman class president.
Yes.
Hello, Trinity.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for joining me for our conversation.
Yes, of course.
So what I've been doing is talking to different people about the first year experience and their perspectives on the first year experience, some interesting tidbits that they had, advice that they have, and words of wisdom for us all. Are you ready?
Yes.
So let's talk about your journey before you got to Albany State. Let's talk a little bit about what you were like in high school. How did you get to Albany State University?
Well, in high school, really it started in elementary. I was involved in a lot of things, organizations. I was in YMCA, I did theater. I was playing a lot of sports, so, basketball, football, just getting involved within my school. So I was a girl who never just wanted to go home. I always wanted to make sure that I was at school 24/7 and then go home and go to sleep. Being in high school, I did SGA, I did Key Club, I was in MTL, I did a lot of sports. I did, YMCA again and Fathers MIA. And those things really brought me up to be a leader. Also in the church, running for Red Circle president of a Congress of Seaboard and being the first Sunshine Band and just getting involved within my community. So that really pushed me to become a freshman class president and to continue my journey as a leader. Knowing that I wanted to go to Albany State University, I did not know it was a university here in Georgia. I actually searched it up by accident.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Okay, you're a Florida girl like me.
Yes. I thought my mom had said Albany, but she wanted to say Auburn State University in Alabama.
Oh.
So when I put in Albany State, I was like, oh, this is a great college. Rams, the real blue and gold. I started to search up the nursing program because that's what I wanted to be. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start applying. I applied and I saw the Summer Success Academy thing. And my mom, she said, you know what? It's best to go in the summer so you can, get a feel of the campus and get a feel of, making new friends and just starting, in advance.
Right.
So I applied. I came in for the summer, and ever since, I'm here.
Wonderful. Well, that's where we met with Summer Success Academy.
Yes.
So all those activities that you did while you were in high school, talk about what specific skills you think those activities develop within you. Okay.
Well, when I was the vice president of SGA, it really taught me leadership, communication, teamwork, and how to make sure that everyone has a task to do. Because we are here to not only teach others, but to also give back to the community. Even being in sports, I was a team captain of flag football or a basketball team captain, and it really taught me how to really make friends and to really know what teamwork means, because without those things, I don't know where I'd be.
So do you feel like those activities help develop you, or do you think you came out the womb like you are?
Honestly, I feel like I came out the womb, because since day one, when my grandma took me to church every single day, it was, knowing what she did. I mean, she was a Sunday school teacher. She did pastor aid. She was a part of the Baptist Union Association. So I'm learning from her how to be a leader, how to lead up and talk to others and get everything together as an organization. So I feel like I was born to be a leader.
So who was influential for you while you were in high school?
I would say my grandmother. She started to develop dementia, but even if so, she will always know that I was doing the right things. So I would say below her would be my mother. She was the one taking me everywhere. So when I say, hey, Mom, I have a basketball game, or I have someone be Miami, she wasn't hesitant to take me, because she knew that I was always doing the right thing and being the right path.
Okay. So you got to Albany State University. You've never been to college. You don't know what's up, down, right, left. So talk about that experience and how that experience helped you as a first-year student.
Well, I was so used to traveling at, University of Florida, doing a research project, or going to Nova. So I kind of already knew what college was about. But in my head, I'm thinking, going to HBCU, it would be like the musical, High School Musical. Right. So I'm thinking people are going to dance on the tables and have a great time. Yeah. Right. And
you heard me talk about that. I would tell you all, you think it was going to be strolling every day and everybody's chanting every day. And that's not what happened when you got there.
No.
Tell us what happened.
I went there and it was a mess the first week, and it was people all over the place. At first it was silence, then it was parties every single night and every single day. And I was starting to lose my mind about what's going on, because at first I was going to go to University of Florida, but I said, you know what, I want to go to HBCU. I want to go to Albany State. Came here, I said, you know what, I'm not going to go to the parties. Went to parties. I'm like, okay, now
Absolutely.
I need to start getting my work, and I'm, going to parties and being on track. You have to know how to organize yourself.
Right.
And I started to push away with the calendar, push away from the Bible, try to have fun with my friends and say, you know what, I need to take a break. I need to take a break from party. I need to take a break from going out and try to be involved in so much, because I have to think about me too and my work and, being able to get good grades. So when I start to learn that, I say, you know what, I'm going to start getting on task. I'm going to start doing what I have to do so that my experience as a HBCU student will be the best.
So that program is a very intensive 6-week process.
Yes.
What a lot of students don't realize is you earn 9 credits
Yes.
in 6 weeks. So
Yes.
it does have high expectations. So how did you balance everything? I know you said the first week was a mess. It was all over the place. And then by week 2 or 3, you figured out how things were. Tell me, what did you do exactly to figure out what to do, when to do, and how to do it?
Right. So I remember my mom giving me not a birthday gift, but a Christmas gift. And she gave me a calendar with 2 pencils. And I'm like, well, Mom, why did I get a calendar? But I wasn't, being ungrateful, but I was asking her why I received the calendar. She told me, you know what, you will figure it out on your own. So ever since then, every time I have homework or organization, I'll write it down, the days and the times. So it reminds me. So being in college, I'll write down, okay, I have a homework this day, or I have class that day, or I have a meeting at this time. So it really helped me to organize myself throughout the day. So I'm able to, be able to do that and to get my work done. And if I'm not able to go out with my friends, I'll say, hey, I can't go out because I have a meeting at 5. Just organizing myself throughout the program.
So we'll talk about what you're doing now in the fall in just a minute. But now that you finishing up your first fall semester,
Yes.
what connections can you make with what happened during Summer Success Academy that either helped or hurt, how you've gotten through your first fall semester?
Well, I would say in the summer we had a lot of lunch and learning. So we were able to see a lot of people in different organizations. So you would see people in student engagement, you would see people in Buck Bank, or people that work on West. And when you make connections, it'll be more easier for you in college. So if you need to go to your advisor, my advisor is Mr. Matthews.
Right.
And now I know that I know of him in the summer, I'm able to go to him, or I know him by now. So it's like just having a lot of connections and knowing a lot of people on campus, it'll be more easier for you in college.
How are your relationships with your instructors in the summer, and how is that the same or different than the fall?
Well, in the summer, it was like a one-on-one type of teaching, so it wasn't a lot of kids in one class, and I was able to get help when I needed. Even during the study tables, when I needed the help, they were already there. Now in the fall, I would say it's not much a difference. I would say just more students and making sure that you have to make an appointment with them, and just really trying to be connected with them or getting to know them, because my mom always said you're just a number in college, but you don't want to be that number. You want to make sure that they know who you are and why did you come here.
Absolutely. So as the fall semester started, and
Yes.
those other 6,500 students hit the campus, and particularly those other 1,700 freshmen
Yes.
came to campus. Tell us, how did you feel, being that you already had been here 6 weeks, and did you think that influenced your perspective as you saw the other freshmen? What did you see in the brand new freshmen that hit campus that you knew you didn't have, or you should have, or you wish they had?
Oh, wow. Well, in the fall, I wasn't scared. I just saw that a lot of freshmen were coming on campus. The campus was very quiet. And I knew that, I remember you said that it's not going to be the same thing as summer. It's going to be very busy. It's going to be a lot of activities. So once the freshmen start coming, it was a lot of freshmen moving in. It was a lot of things going on campus. It was just hectic, very hectic the first 2 weeks. So I would say the summer was very quiet, and now fall you have so much to do than the summer.
And so how do you think those freshmen, as you were observing from the outside, you've been here 6 weeks, you know the buildings, you know where everything is, you know, as you said, you met the people. And so as you were watching those freshmen, what were your observation of those freshmen as they came in?
I felt like some of the freshmen were lost. They didn't know what was going on. I heard some of the freshmen already came for a college tour, so I feel like some of them already knew the buildings, but they know the people.
Right.
So I feel like there were just freshmen that were getting lost. I know some of them were asking, you know, where this class is at, or they'll be upset that they have a certain class at this time, but they're now stepping into a new environment, a new way of, okay, this is not elementary, this is not middle or high, this is actual college. This is more responsibilities, more professor, this is more work, and this is a part to either make you or break you your first 4 weeks of school.
You are the freshman class president.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, I remember I wanted to be a Mrs. Freshman here. And I went to the interest meeting, and they were saying how they were looking for a freshman class president, a Mrs. and Minister freshman. So I said, well, I didn't know they were looking for a president, because if so, I would love to, be one.
So you originally went in to be Mrs. Freshman?
Yes.
Miss Freshman?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I found out that you can go ahead and do your application to be a president, I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. And there were some short essays I had to write to say, why I wanted to be a freshman class president. And I already had experience in high school. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my speech. It wasn't really hard for me to campaign, because I was already on campus in the summer. So I was able to make connections with students on campus and connections with students online. So when I did my speech, I campaigned, I went on live, I answered a lot of questions, and then boom, I got voted in, and now I'm the freshman class president.
What was your platform?
Say it again.
Your platform. What did you run on?
Well, I ran on social media.
What were your principles and values that you? How did you convince them to choose you as president? What did you say you stood for?
Well, I told them that I was already working with SGA as a vice president. I was a treasurer for MTL. I was also a president of Key Club. So I already had experience of leadership. I didn't want to go up. I didn't want to have a theme. I had multiple themes, because I am a person that thinks outside the box, not inside. So I wanted people to see multiple personalities that I have and multiple ways that I can do and to provide as a president. So I just gave them, different things I did in high school to help them be like, you know what, hey, I want to be able to change how Albany State is. I want to make sure that freshmen are comfortable on campus, because I already experienced in the summer. So now, whatever you need, I'm able to help, because I already went through the experience.
And so how are your classes going this semester?
My classes are great. It's a little struggle at sometimes, because you're trying to, balance the presidency and also classes. But as I said, that calendar really sets when you're able to do meetings and when you're able to do work. So just balancing that, you'll do great. So right now I got straight A's, and I'm trying to keep it that way until, thank you. Trying to keep that way until exams come in. So I've been doing great. Making sure that you talk to your professors, even if I wasn't able to go to class that day or so. I'm just letting them know in advance, hey, I can't make it, or whatever work that you have, I will do it the same day. And just emailing them when you don't understand something.
What are your duties as president?
Well, it's to lead, to be in a community, to help others, and to make freshmen feel like home. Because I know not a lot of freshmen feel like home. Some freshmen are scared. Some freshmen don't want to go outside the box and be around other people, because they're not used to that.
So you've been in all these meetings with student government. You hear what the challenges of students, are, the challenges of campus. What are some primary issues that have come up since you've been observing?
Well, for now, I've heard that not a lot of freshmen are able to find friends. Like right now, I have a cousin here. I don't have her number yet. I'm trying to get to know her. I don't even know what she looks like. But she would come on campus, and she'll just go to class and go right back to her dorm. And she'll call her other cousin who's in Valdosta State, and she'll come pick her up every Saturday and every Sunday. So it's like, I feel like she's just coming on campus, and she's saying how she's not liking it, but she doesn't know how to open out more, or to have someone to help her, how to go to a club or be involved. And when freshmen don't be involved, they're going to get bored, and they're going to wonder why I'm in college, why am I doing this? They just don't know how to be open. So I feel like that's the main issue with freshmen in the campus today.
So I've heard that quite a bit from talking with students, not just as part of my position in student success, but just talking with freshmen, day to day. Right. This issue with opening up. What is the role of a student leader in assisting freshmen in that development? And I ask that because many of student leaders have previous experience in leadership, right? So they come in the door, but that's only a small percentage, right? The majority of students do not have that experience. They kind of just went to class and went home. What is the role of the student leader? How can student leaders be helpful and instrumental in getting students not just out of their room, but out of their shells?
So for me, even though I'm holding as a position of freshman class president, I just don't want to have a name and not do nothing, because my job is to be a leader. I want to be a mentor. I want to be able to go to a freshman and not be scared to say, hey, are you okay? Do you want to do this? We're having this event. We just came out with an event on the 18th. It was like a freshman movie night so that people are able to come together and watch a movie and have fun. And even though I wasn't able to be there, if I was there, I wanted to make sure that, every student, I'm able to talk to every student, ask, hey, are you going to be involved in this? What are you doing? What's going on? Do you have anyone to talk to? Because sometimes they don't even know who to go to for help or to go to for problems. Even when they have problems on campus, they will go to me, but not knowing that we also have a freshman class senator. That's who you go to with problems and concerns. And now a lot of people know that. So we have to make a platform on social media or flyers to let them know, like, hey, this is who you can go to help, or this is who you can go to join something, etc.
I'm a big Marvel fan.
Yes.
Huge Marvel fan. And so I'm always talking to students about superheroes and superpowers. Can we talk about superheroes for a minute?
Yes, of course.
Who is your superhero in your life?
That's a good question.
Or who was your superhero in your life?
I'll say Superwoman.
So a real superhero.
Yes. well, Superwoman, but as a hero, I'll say my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Talk about your grandmother.
Well, she raised me. Well, she had retired back in 2003, and my mom, she gave birth to me in 2004. And there was a lot going on within the house. She already had 2 boys already, and then she was going to work. Well, my grandma, she said, you know what? Since she's a girl, and since you have a lot of work to do and stuff with the boys, I'm going to take her in. And ever since she raised me up, I'll say every day I'm always at church. Right after school, we go straight to church. It's either prayer service, Bible study, some type of pastor aid meeting. She was also an Eastern Star. So we have Eastern Star every Saturday.
So she was Wonder Woman.
Yes. And she just taught me things that what she would do. It's either when people talked about her, it didn't bother her. She would just pray about it. Or she would tell them, hey, I still love you regardless if you don't like me or not. She'll go up to people that have problems. She'll try to solve them even though she had so much going on. She was a faithful woman. And she just taught me how to be a leader. And she taught me how to just encourage one another and to give advice. Because just sitting there looking at someone that needs help, I can't just sit there and be like, hey, well, I can't help her because I got to help myself. I'm going to still try to help that person because that's just who I am as a person. And that's who my grandmother taught me how to be as a person today.
Well, I think it's very appropriate that you bring up your grandmother as your superhero. You sounded very strong and confident today,
yes.
But you did experience that loss of your grandmother very recently. That's something that the reason I bring it up is because it's something that other students, happens to other students their first year. And it actually serves as a challenge for students to succeed when they have lost somebody so close. Do you mind for a minute, and it's just if you want to talk about, as you think about this loss, about pushing on, about how to balance, how are you thinking about, I'm suffering, I'm grieving, but I still have to go to class tomorrow.
Right.
Tell me how you're thinking about that and how are you balancing that?
Okay, well, when my grandmother raised me, it went vice versa, so I had to raise her. And she was starting to get dementia and Alzheimer's, so we already knew from the jump that we had to start preparing ourselves to that point when she passed away. So I was taking care of her, I was feeding her, bathing her, doing everything I could to make her comfortable. When I was going off to college, I wanted to make sure that she was there everywhere. I'm talking about prom, graduation, going off to college. So she knew that her baby is not a baby no more, she's going off.
Right.
And when I went off to college, I gave her, my big last hug, and she was starting to decrease. But my mom, she wouldn't tell me anything was going on in the house. Every time I asked about my grandmother, she would say, oh, she's doing fine.
Right.
Oh, she's eating. But reality, she's not doing fine. She's not eating. So when there would be some nights when my mom, she'll call me and she would say, hey, can you speak to your grandmother? And I would do that. And, it was getting to a point where she couldn't talk at all. So she would hum at me or she would smile, and my mom would tell me what she would do with her eyes.
Right.
The day she passed on the 11th, 4 in the morning, I talked to her. I said, hey, Mom, I love you. I call her my mom.
Right.
I love you. If you want to let go, you can let go. I'm fine in college. And when she heard my voice, 3 hours later, she went to sleep and she went on to be with Jesus.
So you think she was letting
Yes.
go because you gave that final goodbye?
Yes.
So how do you still get up in the morning and go to class? And I think, like I said, I think this lesson is important because so many students experience loss and grief during their freshman year. It's not a club you want to be in.
It's
right?
not.
It's not a club you want to be in.
It's not.
So how are you going to get up tomorrow and go to class?
Right. So I'm not going to lie. At first, I was grieving. That whole day I was crying. I couldn't, even when I tried to stop, I couldn't.
Right.
And I knew to myself, where I know I have a loss. I know my grandmother, she's somewhere that she is better than here. And I have to just talk to myself and be like, I know I have a loss, but I still have to go to class. I still have to make these grades because I'm not paying for tuition. My mother is. So I have to, at least still try to go to class. But at the same time, I'm grieving. I'm crying. I'm thinking about my grandmother. But she taught me, she said, always have faith. Having faith that, even though the body is gone, the spirit still moves on. And I have to just remember that my grandmother is now in a better place than she is right now. She is up there singing, doing whatever she wants. She's not in pain. So I have to just remember that she's somewhere that is better than here. And even though her body's gone, her spirit is still with me. And I just had to think about that every single day. Even going to class, I had to think about that, because there'd be some times where somebody would say, grandmother, or my name, her name is Betty, or just something about a grandparent, I will start to break down. But as I go on, I just had to remind myself that, having faith in God is the best thing that you can do. And that's how I was able to move forward.
So what, you talked about her superpowers that she had.
Yes.
Talk about your own superpowers. What do you feel that you can present? What you do? What do you bring to the table? And how is that pushing you through your freshman year?
Well, it's a lot of superhero power that I have. And I'm still trying to figure out myself as I go. I know I'm very a funny person. I laugh. I make people laugh every single day. Sometimes people will come up to me and be like, you know what? You just made my day. Or, I just realized sometimes I will go to a person that probably looks happy, but at the same time, I just feel like they just need, a word or some type of quote or a hug. And the thing is, I just know when someone needs a hug or when someone needs, to talk to. Even they can laugh and be happy, but at the same time, something is wrong. And I have that superpower of knowing when something is wrong. And it's crazy. It's crazy, but I just know. And it's either making them cry at the end of the day and be like, thank you, or just being able to be there at the moment, because no one knew what was going on. And I probably didn't know either, but I just knew from my heart that I had to just go up and say something.
So what advice do you have for freshmen, incoming freshmen next year, or your freshman class of 2027 this year?
Yes, I say this every single day. I say you are you and nobody else, and nobody can take what the Lord has given to you. Even my mother, she says the 3 L's, and that is to look, learn, and listen. This is your life, because now we are in a new environment. We are in college. We're not in high school. So there's just certain things that your parents probably can't do for you at the moment, and you just have to figure out on your own. So this is time to communicate, start emailing, start doing responsible things, start saving. Saving is a big thing, because I'm not going to lie, at first I was not budgeting and I was using on Uber Eats and Amazon and stuff. Now I know I have to start saving. So just look and learn, listen on campus, and just being who you are as a person. Don't let anyone change it.
Thank you so much, Trinity.
Yes.
I have really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and perspectives
Of course.
on Extraordinary Voices with Dr. Burgess. Thank you, Trinity, so much. She is a freshman Student Government Association member, freshman class president here at the unsinkable Albany State University. Thank you, Trinity. You are an extraordinary voice.
Thank you.
Have a great semester.
And you too.
Thank you. This podcast is recorded, produced, and edited in the WASU FM studios on the Albany State University campus. I am your host and producer, Dr. Kimberly Burgess. Thank you so much for listening. Go Rams.